Okay, sweet friends, let's get on to wit and wisdom. Today is actually our very last day for the Cinderella stories. So, what I'm going to remind us is that we have been working on why people around the world admire Cinderella. And so, what we're going to do today is we're going to go back to those paintings, those first steps paintings that we've seen, and we're going to talk about something that has to do with those versions of the Cinderella stories that we've talked about. So if you think back, versions means different ways to tell the same story. So something might be a little different. So instead of a glass slipper, it might be a gold sandal, or something might be different where she has a fairy godfather instead of a fairy godmother. So we know that all of those things are different types or versions of the same story. Well, today we're going to talk about these three words. It's called point of view. And we can do this looking at art, and you can also do it when you're reading a story. So we're going to start using it when we look at art. And then in our next unit or our next module, we're really going to talk about how an author uses point of view or what they see. So here's what I'm going to do. I want you to experience point of view. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to watch me, and I want you to see how these points of view are different. Okay? So here's A. Okay, now here's B. All right, now what I want you to do is I want you to think, how did I look different from A to B? How did I look different to you? Because now it's your point of view. So what did I look like in A to you? And what did I look like in B to you? I hope you started thinking that, wow, in the first one, Miss Metz was very close to me. All I could see was her head. Her face was huge. So your point of view was directly in front of me. Your point of view was up close to me. Your point of view was very near. Then, when I got to B, you should have said, wow, Miss Metz, she's far away. I can see more of her body now. I can see her shoulders and her arms and her chest and her neck and her head, and I can see things behind her, and her head actually looks really small. It's like I could pinch it. So your point of view changed. Your point of view was now farther away. Your point of view was not as close. Your point of view was a longer distance. It was harder to see. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to look at each one of those paintings, and we're going to talk about the viewer. We're going to be the viewer, and we're going to talk about our point of view to each one of these paintings. So here's what I want you to do. I just want you to look at Picasso's painting. Just look at Picasso's painting. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to turn to somebody who's sitting near you, and I want you to describe your point of view to them. What do you see when you look at this painting? Where might you be in relationship to this painting? Some of you might have said your point of view was up close. Some of you might have said, ooh, my point of view is straight ahead. I'm looking right at them. It's like they're coming at me. Some of you may have said that they're very big, so I must be very close or near to them, okay? So now what I want you to do is I'm going to show you Millet and Van Gogh's painting of the same thing. It's, remember, these are three different versions of the same painting. And what I want you to do is I want you to look at each of these paintings, and then I want you to describe your point of view in these paintings. Where might you be as the viewer in relation to these people? Okay, I hope you told somebody maybe over to the side of them, maybe that's your point of view. You feel like you're not really a part of the painting. You feel like you're over to the side. You see more of things around the people. The people look much smaller than Picasso's painting. So your point of view may be that you are off to the side, or you are in the distance, or you are not as near to them as you were the Picasso painting. Now, what I'm going to do is you are going to look at all three of these, and your assignment for this is to talk about the lines that you see. Remember, we talked about lines before. The first line we said was our vertical line. The next line we said was our horizontal line. And the third line we said was our diagonal line. I also want you to think about those colors. Remember, we talked about complementary colors. So on one part of the wheel, you may have orange, and on the other part of the wheel, you may have blue. On one part of it, you may have black. The other part, you may have white. So it's those colors that kind of go together to help you see certain things in a different way. So I want you to think about lines. How did the artist use the lines? How did the artist use the color to take your eye from place to place? And also the point of view in which the artist painted. So were you directly in front of the painting, or were you off to the side? How did your point of view change? And so then what you're going to do is you're going to answer a question. And the question is going to be, how do the lines, color, and point of view help you notice things and learn things from each painting? Okay, so I will post all three of these on an activity in Seesaw, and your job is going to be to look at the lines, the colors, and the point of view, and then answer the question, how do those three things affect you when you notice and learn from these paintings?